Welcome everybody to the official MAP Technologies podcast. I'm your hostess with the mostest. I love using that goofy term, King Gardamus. To my right,
It is the Charm City Champ, and you may see some unofficial MAP podcasts. Don't follow them.
yeah, it's
The
not
official
official.
one.
Yeah, that's my podcast.
I knew it.
And then to my left,
J Infinity, aka Mr. Oh No.
Mr. O, no use in trouble now. All right, what we got going for today? What's the rundown? What we
All
got?
right, so let's get straight into it because, like I said, like last week, we start with redactions.
Okay.
And woo boy,
Do we have a redaction? For
it was
you?
not a good week.
These two make a lot of mistakes.
It actually, a funny thing because you actually did not make any of these mistakes.
Exactly.
Mr. Oh no.
So let's get this started.
All right.
First one, Tony Hawk Pro Skater 1 and 2. I could not remember the release date.
Okay.
It comes out September 4th.
September 4th. That's not too long from
It
now.
is not
Yes,
too long
yeah.
from now.
Mhm.
Look forward to that.
Look forward to it.
Microsoft Smart Glass. I kept calling this thing mistakenly Microsoft Smart Glass. That's not what that is. I was referring to Microsoft HoloLens.
Okay.
I do not remember that at all.
The HoloLens came out not too long ago. It was supposed to be released to consumers, but I guess Microsoft just decided to not release it because it was
Not good.
dumb.
In so many terms, it was silly.
I could not decide whether the Injustice games or the comics came out. What came first, the
Chicken
comic or
egg.
the game?
Okay.
And they were both planned together, like you insisted.
Okay.
So
So he does know about DC.
he was right again. It's a secret DC
He's a
fan.
secret.
Yeah, the Injustice comics were planned along with the games, and it came out around the same time in 2013.
2013.
There you
Seems
go.
like a millennia ago, doesn't
There
it?
you have it.
Non-COVID times.
We were talking about Tetsunuko versus Capcom.
Yes.
And I referred to this group of people as the Tetsunuko Power Rangers.
Which is accurate, but the correct name is
Science Ninja Team Gatchaman.
Gotcha Man.
Yeah, I can see how you confuse that.
Yeah.
I can see how you
Yeah.
confuse that.
We were talking about Thundercats.
Thundercats.
And King Godimus said that there were no Thundercats video games.
Would you
Such a big claim.
air me out like that?
There were two.
How are you going to get home with flat tires?
One was for the Atari, and there was a Thundercat game for the Nintendo DS. But
Really?
they were both worth ignoring because the Thundercat DS got a Metacritic score of 28.
Okay. So if you don't know what Metacritic score is, that's not very good.
It is not. On a scale of 1 to 10, that is not good. And
Alrighty.
lastly, you were trying to think of a mech game made by Capcom. The game is Steel Battalion.
Steel Battalion, which is also my dancer name. All right.
And that's it.
That
So
is it.
yeah, let's break that record. We got 6.
All right.
6 oopsies. That's great.
I'll just keep.
Oh,
mouth
I'm
shut.
sorry. One more. Damn. Now I gotta redact that.
You gotta
Next
redact
week,
again.
redaction. So
Redactception.
we were talking about the Burger King games, and I couldn't think of the third game. So all the games are Pocket Biker Racers.
Okay, I do remember that.
That was the Mario
most-
Kart bootleg. Sneak King was the stealth game,
yeah. Okay.
and there was a game Big Bumpin'.
Big. You sure that's a game? Or?
Big Bumpin', that was also a burger. Big Bumpin', you were a bunch of characters in bumper cars, and you just had to bump
Oh,
each other.
oh, okay. I
As the title insists.
was thinking
Okay.
about something more dull.
Big Bumpin'.
Big
So
bumping.
that's
All
it.
right,
That is
now,
truly it. For the
That is
redactions.
that for the redaction. So now on to the next.
On to what we are all playing right now.
what we are playing
Oh,
right now.
we're supposed to be playing something?
Oh
Besides
boy.
yourself.
So I mean, whatever,
Oh,
whatever. Nobody is no pressure, man. So
It's
if you
free.
if you only if you only play Call of Duty, if that didn't change, that is okay. That's what happened. Okay, for the audio listeners, that's what happened. Godimus, what are you playing?
Same. I haven't deviated.
World of
World of
Warcraft.
Warcraft, and very like sparingly. Like I haven't been playing it like I should. I've actually got cussed out the last time I've been on it. So
So should we just assume from here on out that I'm the only one that's playing
yes,
different
you're
things
the
every
only
week?
one.
Well,
Okay. I'll keep
I
that.
downloaded a lot of Steam games,
Okay.
but I haven't played.
Well, what did you download? Is there anything new in there?
Fall Guy was the newest thing.
Hell
I
yeah.
downloaded a still. Actually, no, I forgot. I am playing Stellaris, which
Mhm.
is like a space simulator.
Mhm.
really cool. I like it. And that's it. The other games, just Warhammer 40K.
Okay.
I downloaded. Remember the first PC game they had? I downloaded all that and all the expansions again.
Mhm.
It doesn't run on my laptop, so
Just
You have
download
it, yeah.
for sentimental value.
right. Will not run, but I got
You
it.
have it.
And I'm still playing Call of Duty. So,
Okay.
yeah, I'm not that.
I actually I have a Switch, and Switch has Pokemon Shield on it.
And Sword.
It's just Shield.
There's both
Shield and
Shield
Sword.
and Sword.
Yeah,
Both.
but they come in separately, right?
Yeah, they're separate games.
So this one just has Shield on it,
Mhm.
not
Yeah,
Sword.
right.
So I am going to partake in it.
Hell yeah.
I created my character, and I'm going to go down to the Pokemon hole. 20 years later, I've never played any Pokemon games,
Mhm.
so this is my first cherry popping Pokemon experience.
Oh.
Okay.
We're just going to weekly say cherry pop.
Can you see that?
I guess. It's your world, man. So
You said some other worse things on here.
we did.
Yeah.
I censored them.
Oh, did you? Well, we'll be censoring that too.
So I'm glad you brought up Fall Guys while you said that. We posted it on our Twitter, but I'll make it official for all of you listeners and watchers out there. I got the platinum
You got
Oh,
the
in
red-
Fall
oh,
Guys.
gee.
His
Freaking
family gets to
GG.
see him for an hour until he plays something else.
GGs.
I mean, let's keep it. I'm not stopped. This did not make me stop playing. It just
He just created a new account
That
and tried to
is.
get platinum again.
Mhm.
now I'm just more evil. So what I'm playing a couple things. I'm playing the new Battletoads.
Okay, how's that?
Battletoads. So it's complicated. There's a lot of good in this Battletoads game. The fighting system and the side-scrolling beat 'em up part of it, really good, really clean. The combo system is actually very intense. It's more intense than I thought. It's not just like mashing B the whole time.
Okay.
There's a lot of like combos you can learn and stuff
Okay.
like that. It's pretty cool. Now, where
Here's the bad.
there's the bad part. So it's trying to go for this 90s Saturday morning cartoon vibe,
Mhm.
but also kind of strike an adult vibe because it's targeting the Battletoads fans of yore, like the people who played the Sega Genesis
When it
game.
initially came out.
Yeah.
So, okay.
So it kind of has this semi-adult Teen Titans Go vibe,
Okay.
but the problem is it's not. Out of all the jokes, 70% of them are not funny.
And
Then-
And that almost makes things worse when they try to hit this, comedy thing, and it just falls flat, and you're just like, now this is just annoying. So now I'm trying to
Yeah.
play through the game, and these horrible jokes are coming through, and you're just like,
And I mean like cringe. It's
like,
yeah, and it sucks because the cutscenes are they look so good, like they're hand drawn.
okay,
Or at least they appear to be hand drawn, and look really good. But just the writing is so bad, and the
Mm.
story is just incoherent. Like you're some places and you have no idea why you're there.
Mm.
Like what? I don't get it, but whatever. And the other thing is, and I appreciate the effort that this small team in Rare took that developed it, is they didn't want the beat 'em up part of the game to get stale.
Right.
So they mixed in a bunch of like mini games and diversions in between the beat 'em up levels, and some of them are good. There's this bullet hell game that they stuck in there, kind of like
it's called Bullet Hell.
well, that's the genre of game, kind
Okay.
of like what am I thinking of? Like Gradius,
Okay.
you know what I'm thinking about?
Yes. Uh huh.
Top down, you're
right.
playing bunch of bullets.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yes,
and
it is Bullet Hell. Yes.
and those levels are good, but then there's these platforming levels that suck,
Mm.
and they took a lot of risk, and I appreciate that. I don't want to talk game developers out of taking a risk, but if you don't already have Game Pass, I probably would pass this.
Okay.
Do not spend the $20.
Is that how much it costs?
I think full price is 20, but it's included in the Game Pass.
Okay.
So there you go. I'm also played. There's another indie game that was also on Game Pass called Spiritfarer. I don't know if y'all heard of that.
I have
Yeah.
not.
Another good-looking indie game. Hand-drawn sprites, hand-drawn
Mm.
animation. It looks really good.
That's the game where you have to you're like what are you, an angel or something, and you're helping.
I didn't beat the game, so I don't know what you are yet. You're a little girl,
Right.
And you're in charge of this boat, and the reason for the boat is you have to
Redevelopment.
take people who had just died
Right. You're helping
and
them pass.
help them go to the afterlife.
Okay.
So it's a platforming game, and the platforming feels really good. But the majority of the game is like a management sim.
Okay.
So you're upgrading this boat, and you're managing all the people that are on the boat, and like keeping them happy on the journey to the
Oh,
afterlife.
look this way. You're not
It's
dead.
yeah, it's a super saccharine. It's super like joyous. It's one of
Okay.
those things. So like if you don't like that kind of like Animal Crossing-y, kind of like super cute, this
okay.
might not be your thing. But if you can get past that, the management part and the platforming part is a real fun game.
Cool.
I've been playing a little bit of it. I've also went back to Avengers.
Okay.
Couldn't resist.
The Avengers. So here's why. So the Avengers beta opened last weekend. So now anybody with a PlayStation with an Xbox
Okay.
can download it and jump in.
You don't have to
Open
pre-order
beta.
it, right?
Exactly, right.
Okay.
Open for everybody for free.
Okay.
So I figured I'd take this opportunity to actually play online with some people I know.
Okay.
Because normally sometimes there's some online games where like they're only fun
with people you know.
exactly
Yeah,
if you
don't
got a
get that
guild
same-
already,
yeah.
blah 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 blah.
Mhm.
So we did that, got a team of 4. We hopped on a couple missions, and it's actually pretty fun if you
Ooh,
play it with friends. And I mean that like with that
that
gotta
friend-
be because like I played this thing by myself and I played this thing with strangers with no voice chat, and it is boring. But putting that friend element, and we played a couple missions, and we played a boss mission,
Okay.
and it was pretty damn fun.
Okay.
So I would insist, download that open beta, give it a try with friends, see how you feel.
Okay.
That comes out, I believe, September 4th as well.
So they got a little backlash when it initially came out because it looked bad. Was that another game? Or I could be wrong. We
You're
might
talking
be
about when they
forgetting.
showed the trailer last E3.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, look,
It looked.
garbage.
Yeah.
Did they fix that?
Oh, they fixed it.
Because I haven't been paying too
They
much
fixed
attention
it,
to it,
yeah.
unfortunately.
Yeah, the character models did not look good.
Mm.
No.
I think they were trying too hard to make the characters not look like the MCU
Right.
counterparts,
Right.
and it just did not go over
They
well.
should have. I mean, truthfully, they should have just stuck with the comic book.
I think,
Comic-
yeah.
Like,
comic book adaptation.
Nobody
yeah.
wouldn't mind.
These characters
But what-
existed before
Yeah.
Scarlett
Benedict-
Johansson.
Benedict Cumberbatch.
Like it just didn't like the character designs. Like Black Widow was like the worst. Like
yeah.
they gave her like a square chin. Like,
Yeah.
Why? Like you.
Did the same
You could have.
thing-
It's so many other different aesthetics you could have changed in her
Mhm.
face. But why give her a square chin? Why make
Captain
her
America
look?
looks like me. Hey, Captain America, Black Madrid. Hey, I'm just saying, Captain America. What?
Like nobody would have cared. Like nobody
Yeah.
would have cared.
But they did fix it. I had a good time this weekend. I'm gonna go back to it because I believe they announced that the levels that you gain in the beta cross over to the full game.
Well, that's
It's
good.
always cool.
That's
I
good.
like when
Yeah.
I like when developers do that.
think-
It kind of gives you.
Anthem did that.
Yeah,
Anthem
I
did
think
the same
Anthem
thing.
did it.
and the leveling is important. And this is the one bad part I don't like. Well, it's a couple of bad things I don't like about it right now. But one of the things that are sticking to my craw right now is all the characters don't level up together.
Okay.
So you have to be playing as the people you want to level up,
Okay. Yeah. I mean, yeah.
and you can't. There can't be 2 Hulks in one playthrough. There can't be 2
Right.
Tony Starks
Okay.
in one playthrough. So like, say I stuck with my Hulk and I got him up to like level 12, but I jumped in somebody's game and they're playing as Hulk. So now I gotta abandon my level 12 Hulk to
And
play
go
as my level 2.
Captain America.
Exactly.
That's understandable.
You know what I'm saying? So I've seen RPGs get around that, and it's just it's annoying to me that now I gotta probably play a good bit of my game as Miss Marvel, even though I don't like Miss Marvel,
Right.
just to prepare to be that good team member. You know?
Yeah, somebody got to take one for the team.
Who's gonna be Kamala? Everybody looking at me.
Fine,
I wouldn't mind
guys.
I wouldn't mind playing as Kamala. I like Kamala.
Yeah, I'm just joking. Kamala's pretty cool.
Kamala fans.
If anything, Iron Man's probably the least fun person to play as.
Really?
Right now, the flying sucks. It's-
They need.
I
to-
do not enjoy the flying.
clunky and just yeah.
It's very bad.
They need. They need to get in contact with the Anthem team then, because
Yeah.
That's the one thing they got right.
Yeah, if they don't get anything else right. Their flying is cool.
All right, so that's what are we playing now. Next up is the news. There will be music.
Oh, I forgot to dance.
You got that though.
Get join our Patreon, balls.
So we're just gonna go a quick roundup of the news that happened for the past week.
Yes,
Cool.
it's actually been John again. Try not to faint from excitement.
Ooh, there's a lot of DC
A lot
stuff,
of DC
baby.
stuff. Look, here it is, about to pass out from Supermandom.
So I put it first to get it out the way.
All right.
I put it first. So we're only going to talk about the game-centric news that came out of DC Fandom that happened this past Saturday.
Uh-huh.
Gotham Knights, the Warner Brothers Montreal game, got revealed, and it looks really good. 2-player co-op. You get to play as either Batgirl, Red Hood, Robin,
the Bat family.
Every Bat person except Batman, because Batman did.
Yes. Yes.
He just couldn't wait. He was like, "Ooh,
Get to the good part.
Get to the good part."
That was my favorite part of the trailer. I watched the trailer. It was my favorite part. I cut it off after that. I was like, all right, ooh, this game's awesome. I don't need it anymore.
So
yes, Batman's dead.
this takes place, I believe, in the same universe as the Arkham trilogy.
Okay. I thought they said it wasn't going to be a part of it.
Really?
Yeah.
Let me look-
Redacted.
Let me look that back up. I could have swore I heard that, but
Okay.
I didn't do it.
anyway, this takes place in the Gotham universe right after Batman is supposedly killed.
Right.
And I believe the Court of Owls is involved somehow.
Yes.
And in the demo, Batgirl and Robin were both chasing to defeat Mr. Freeze. That was in a boss battle, and the gameplay just looked so good. The traversal mechanic looked a lot like the Arkham trilogy with the grappling hook. And God, I just lost my thought.
Sorry.
It's okay. But
Rewind.
Yeah. Edit that out.
Put my shirt back on. 'Cause
gotta keep continuity.
So Batman's dead in this universe. So this
Mhm.
takes place after Batman dead, and then
Yes.
the Bat family has to come together to keep
Batgirl, Nightwing, Robin, and Red Hood.
and Babu's dead.
And the cool thing is that in the Arkham series, I think the one thing that maybe people didn't like is there were sections that kind of forced you to play stealth, and there were other sections that were just straight up action brawling.
Right.
This one, they said that you can play either way
Okay.
all throughout. If you just
Yeah.
want to go in and bust some heads, you can. If you want to go in and be stealthy, you can. Or if you want to be stealthy and your partner don't want to, that's fine too.
That's cool.
Also, they said that the enemies adapt to the level that you are. So there's an experience system and there's a leveling system. And they said that if you get to that Mr. Freeze boss fight and you're a level 5, he'll be easier versus if you are a level 10. So it's not, you can't just farm experience and then go and try to beat Freeze.
Okay.
He will automatically adapt. And they were insistent in saying that by adapting, it's not just his health going up. He'll learn new moves.
Ooh, that is snazzy.
He
So
might
so being stealthy through the game and avoiding leveling up,
Mhm.
it's a bonus when you get to the boss.
I mean,
It makes it a
prospectively.
lot easier.
Possibly.
Yeah.
That is a strategy. I don't know enough yet. It's slated for 2021.
So it will be in the new system.
Yes.
Yes.
So I kind of like ruin things for people.
Mm-hmm.
Although I'm not a DC fan,
Mm-hmm.
I am familiar with the lore.
Mm-hmm.
And I can almost guarantee Batman comes back at the end. They're going to use the Lazarus Pit, and the Gotham Knights are going to have to fight Batman in the very end.
You heard the prediction. Batman's gonna come back.
Now,
crazy.
if this happens,
Spoiler alert.
yeah.
So I know Batman's been killed
Numerous
several
times.
times, and most of the times when I've seen it is either they were mistaken and he never really died,
Yeah.
or he was just faking
Literally
his
one time
death.
in the comic book, he got hit by Darkseid's beams.
Yeah.
And he just got time displaced. Everybody else has been incinerated, but somehow Batman just wakes
That's
up.
why I don't like Batman.
at 5,000
I-
BC. Oh.
How much prep time did Batman have?
Right.
Huh?
Exactly.
Another second. It was enough. huh?
That's all he needs.
You know, Marvel doesn't have that problem. Someone gets punched by Thanos, they're dead. No,
Yes.
Darkseid, his beams, the Omega beams, they can destroy anything. But like you said,
But
Batman
Batman.
just gets time displaced. Like
Yep.
how? I don't
Because he's a rich white guy.
Yeah.
The other game that was announced during DC Fandom was Suicide Squad Kills the Justice League, which looked. I enjoyed that a little more than Gotham Knights because it's a little more up my alley with the comedic approach,
Mhm.
and it was a cinematic trailer, so it wasn't really gameplay. So this is me insinuating, but the way that the Suicide Squad was moving around, it reminded me a lot of Sunset Overdrive, which was one of my favorite games of this
If you
generation.
Make sure you go check the previous
Go-
podcast.
Go listen.
Call back.
See, we got our own cinematic universe
We
going.
did. Yeah, that's totally cool.
But yeah, they were using rocket packs and flying, and so the Suicide Squad members that you play as, presumably, are Harley Quinn, Captain Boomerang, Deadshot, and King Shark.
Okay.
And it looks like it's a third-person shooter. They all had their own version of guns
Okay.
and their own version of moving around Metropolis, which is where it takes place.
Okay.
And from the trailer, it's easy to insinuate that Brainiac's involved, and it looks like Brainiac has somehow mind-controlled Superman.
Oh.
So yeah,
Ooh. That they were cut out for them, just Suicide Squad. Because they're just like, who is the strongest person on the Suicide Squad? Like,
strength-wise,
Strength-wise?
I mean, just like, yeah, like out of like, who would be the like top tier person?
Depends on who's on the team.
Yeah,
at
about to say
the
it's
time.
like
That team
30
that-
people.
Yeah, that team
Okay.
that's in the trailer, King Shark would probably be the strongest.
Yeah.
Like physically.
Mhm.
And how would he compare against Superman?
There is no comparison.
Right. So
like-
they have their work cut out for them.
That's why they were like, "Oh shit!"
Yeah.
Oh, that's the target.
Yeah, at the end of the trailer,
I'm
they're like,
oh man, I think Batman's time displaced. Let's go see.
I don't know if they're gonna actually. Well, again, this is me insinuating again. I don't know if they're gonna actually kill Superman. There's
No,
got to
they're
be
not.
something else that's gonna happen.
Mm.
Maybe they just get rid of Brainiac and free Superman of the mind control, or.
something.
But I don't know. The subtitle is "Kill the Justice League," so
Alright.
who knows? On to the next part of the news. Call of Duty Black Ops Cold War was
Cold
officially
War,
announced.
Yeah, that's wasn't expecting that Cold War. I mean, that's
It's weird to me because from the outside looking in, there's not too much. There were some actual battles that happened during Cold War, but majority of Cold War is known for more logistic
Right.
battles and psychological operations.
then
There's
the
not
actual,
too
like,
much.
battle, like
Exactly.
feet to the ground.
So I'm curious. Vietnam's probably going to be involved. The
big
Bay of
black-
Pigs.
yeah, Bad Pigs, yeah. Cuba Missile
Yes.
Crisis, all that. kind
Yeah,
of-
so I'm curious how this game's going to approach it. It's
Russia-
not a lot
Russia,
of boots on the ground
Afghanistan.
stuff.
Yeah, maybe it'll be some, of course, a semi-fictitious story with
Mhm.
you know someone has the launch codes and they got to send in Ghost and
Mhm.
Toenail and all the other donut string to do. So I'm pretty sure they'll pull it together. So
Mhm.
you have to excuse me, I'm not too familiar. Like I like the Call of Duties, but I know they alternate. So who's making this one? Treyarch and then Activision.
Treyarch always makes the Black Ops.
Okay, Treyarch. always-
Infinity Ward makes the
Alright.
Modern Warfare.
So this is Treyarch.
This is Treyarch, the
Okay.
people who make the Black Ops. And so what I'm curious about is, even though this wasn't originally in a Treyarch game, is the infamous mission No Russian
Right.
from the original Modern Warfare, where it's kind of like an espionage mission where it's basically Black Ops. Literally, you're playing as this group of Russians pretending to be another faction committing this war crime.
Right.
And I wonder, because Cold War, the real life Cold War, had a lot of espionage. There's a lot of Russian spies getting caught. So I wonder if there's going to be some more missions like that, actual Black Ops.
But just think how controversial that thing was. They put the big disclaimer.
Oh
up.
yeah, and it still is. They still give
Yeah.
you that option to not play that mission.
I seen one guy like hacked it and like kind of like went behind the scenes and like in the game to see how like stuff went, how you could like, so it was like a lot of us, talk about the aesthetics of it. So yeah, they still talk about that portion of the game,
Mm-hmm.
which is most of the people that come in their opinion, the Black Ops seems to be the better portion of the series from what I gather. Like people still coming in right now and still ask to play Black Ops 3 and Black Ops 2.
I know the younger who listen to me, the younger generation. I know the younger generation, they enjoy Black Ops Online a lot better. It's because Black Ops is they're the ones that always have the zombie mode,
Okay, all right.
and the younger generation love the zombie mode.
Okay.
And I do too. I mean, it's fun.
Right. I always get left on the bus. Let me drive the bus. That bus, I'm just standing like, I just see it driving off.
But
and,
yeah, the multiplayer in Black Ops is a little more arcadey.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's probably why I like it.
Mhm.
Yeah. So, I'm going to die, but.
I'm gonna
more
have fun.
enjoyable.
Why
Yeah.
not?
At least you can run up walls, you know.
Yeah.
That's realistic.
Yeah, I didn't like those, the ones where you could jump and those just took.
That was 4, where it was a little more Overwatch inspired.
Where you had like the jetpacks and stuff like that. Which ones were those?
Oh, that was Modern Warfare.
Infinity?
Infinity, I think.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, you're right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't really care for that one all too much.
They tried. I mean, they tried to
Something new,
They tried
yeah.
to. Yeah.
Mhm.
We can't just keep rehashing the same.
And I
war
get
and over
that,
and
yeah.
over.
But that was, I was just like,
How many World War II games do we
I gotta
need?
get shot from the top and the bottom. Like, God, this is.
Can we get a Call of Duty Civil War?
That's gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Oh, I missed. Give me a sec. Oh, I just died of tetanus.
Oregon Trail.
Imagine a 360 no scope with a musket. To reload in the air.
What was, not to go,
No,
what
no,
was
no.
the one game? It was a it was on the. I played it on the 360. It might have been on PlayStation, but it was a cheaper first person shooter. But you were going through time, like, but you had modern guns. But you were going in like Civil War with like your
Time splitters.
No. It was like one of those horrible games. We reviewed it on the old show. It was deplorable. But the person like pulled you in and he was like, "Hey, we need your help. You got to go through time. So take this laser and go in the Civil." And you literally in the Civil War and you got this
Damn.
laser gun and you just and the people are like, "What the? It's gone!" Like, can you imagine hopping in the Civil War with a machine gun and you're just like. God, and they're like, holy shit, what the man? I forget. I gotta. I don't know if it's gonna be a redaction, but I'm going to personally look for that game.
Yeah.
And have it next go around. There were a couple horrible
That'd
games
be
like
cool.
that.
Yeah, that was our bag.
Yeah, yeah, we got some horrible
We
games. to
reviewed
play.
games nobody wanted to review.
and got harassed about it. What are you doing? Come on, we're gonna shoot you.
Could you give us our 2.5, please?
Hurry
Hurry up.
We need it. Okay, I'm sorry. I'm trying my best here.
To move on, some PS5 news.
Okay.
Sony released some more information on how their haptic triggers were going to work.
Haptic triggers.
So with haptic triggers, it's supposed to in current gen triggers, you just pull them, and no matter what's happening on screen, it doesn't really matter what's happening on screen, right? The pressure. So with this, the triggers are supposed to change the pressure and change the vibration based on what the trigger is actually doing.
Yep, they're also locked too.
Exactly. So, damn, I don't have the specific game. Oh, Deathloop.
Yes.
They have an active reload system in Deathloop, and you can jam your gun just like in Gears of War.
Okay.
And if your gun jams, the trigger locks. You can't pull the trigger until your gun unjams.
So with these new options on the joystick, do you think it's going to impact the price? Because I mean, like literally, a PlayStation 4 controller is $60 damn near.
I would
So,
imagine.
Yeah. So
That's probably why they said that you could play with PS4 controllers to kind of like ease the pain,
right.
even though you can't play.
They said it was limited to some games.
Yeah.
It was limited to certain games that you could play with the PS4.
Mhm.
So what do you think? $65, $70? You think these?
It's 60 now, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
would imagine. I mean, so the Switch Pro controller is 70.
Literally.
Yeah.
The actual one, yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So don't be shocked if it's
I
70.
guess you're right about that. I didn't think about, and you are correct.
Built-in mics.
Is that what's going to be built in?
Built-in
With
mics.
the PS5 controller. Yeah,
Mhm.
it's gonna have 2 speakers.
Yep.
Wow.
Speakers, built-in
I
mics.
didn't
That
know all that.
the
Sucking y'all.
rumbling is different now.
Mhm.
Oh, that thing is probably gonna be like 80.
Yeah, I can see that. So I mean, granted, you may have to make like a.
It would be
decision.
cheaper to just buy another PS5.
Yeah. Get 2 PS5s. Like, man, you're gonna have to
Just
walk.
throw the PS5 away. I just need the other controller.
Piece of trash. Man, you're gonna walk in and. Do I need to get a game or another controller? I mean, or you
Mm.
may want to grab 3 games, but you're like, man, I may have to not get a game and just settle for a controller. Or may not get 2 games, and just have to
Well,
get a controller.
I guess the good thing is that a lot of the AAA games, if you already own them on PS4,
Then
you'll get the PS5
Mhm.
version for free. So I guess you
Yeah.
are gonna have
So all the
a
little,
library of games once you
yep,
get
so
your
all the
PS5.
little brothers in the world, prepare not to touch a PlayStation 5
Better
controller
not.
anytime soon. You will be getting that 4 controller along with the 4 when you bring the 4 controller in. I want to play. Shut up.
All right. Also, PS5 news. It apparently got leaked that Sony is looking to work on a next-gen VR headset.
Okay.
In a Japanese job site, it was a job posting for Sony, and a description looked for developers that could make a headset that houses monitors,
Okay.
which is basically a VR headset.
Okay.
Yeah. So there you go.
All right, another headset. I didn't get a chance to purchase the first headset. I mean, I've had a few that I've sold, but I didn't get a chance to partake. But just like I think I messed with yours and I
Mhm.
messed with a few other my friends, and it was cool. It
Mhm.
was a lot better than what I thought. Like when I got in, and you're like, oh, it really is, even though it says virtual reality, but you're like, oh, this is cool. So
Mhm.
I'm anxious to see what I'm assuming this is going to be a better version of what we have, maybe comparable to the higher end Oculus Rift.
Yeah, I think they're probably gonna mock the Oculus Rift and the HTC Vive
Yeah.
because those helmets have cameras on the headset itself.
That's why they cost what?
Yeah,
Oculus Rift is $5, $6.
Yeah.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
But you get what you pay for. There's a difference between the. Not to knock the PlayStation VR, but I'm pretty sure there's a difference between the PlayStation VR, which is $250, and then the full blown Oculus Rift, which is $600.
The two main things is the display resolution.
Okay.
The monitors inside the PSVR, I think, individually only go up to like a little over 1,000 pixels.
Okay.
Yeah, whereas HTC Vive, each one does like 2K, 3K.
I'm sure.
So it looks a lot better, and the screens are wider, so your peripherals.
Yeah.
Right. And the tracking of the PSVR, because there's no camera on the headset itself, it has to rely on the camera,
Of
the external camera. So
okay.
it's easy to get out the shot of that camera. It's not really a lot of walking around and stuff you could do.
And of course, you need a more powerful rig to run that, VR. So
Yeah, you definitely need a pro to look good.
Yeah.
That's the news.
All right.
I wanted to bring up also, I placed some polls on Twitter and IG. I placed my top 10 games of this gen.
I saw that.
I seen that. Yeah, and it didn't go well.
People didn't agree.
You people are jerks.
Why wouldn't you like my own opinion that I post?
Breath of the Wild is great. So anyway, on Twitter, it was out of everybody who voted, 60% of people said my list was trash.
Okay.
And on Instagram, I believe it was 66% said it was no bueno.
Okay.
All right.
I'm sorry that they did not like your. I thought it was pretty cool for Cindy.
Ego check.
Yeah. Got you guys. Bam. Internet 1. Charm City Champ 0. Sorry, bud. Better luck next time. Are you? I'm assuming there's another poll coming up soon, or is your?
Yeah. So Patreon users get exclusive polls, and they'll get the polls that go to the public before the public gets them.
So that means if you're not a Patreon user, please sign up for our Patreon.
That means ad break. So there you go again. So speaking of Patreon, you can sign up and become a patron for MVP Technologies for the low price of $3 a month.
Yep, and of course, the more you pay out, the more things you get back. We have giveaways, so.
And we also are live streaming for the $12 tier right now. Well, this past Monday. But right now, if you are those people who pay $12, it's kind of like Inception. So, so if you want to see this early and you want to see us mess up a lot, you can live,
You can.
baby. Along with other things for the $12 tier, you get exclusive access to contests. I can't say the G word because Patreon doesn't really, they frown upon that, I guess, for some reason. But contests, exclusive content, exclusive live streams, and the $3 and the $6 tier get cool stuff too.
Cool stuff.
So sign up, patreon.com/MAP Game Tech.
Yep, it'll help us out, bring you guys bigger and better content.
As you can see, I got a haircut,
Yes.
so
Yes.
people have been signing up.
Yeah. So thank you for that. So as you can see, John and I even got my hair done. We're both not homeless guys that Brian just pulled off the street. You want to do a podcast? Oh yeah, give me some beer, I'll do it.
I do want to insist that the Patreon money does not just go to grooming.
It doesn't. It doesn't
At all. We were just joking. Yeah.
I strip for my money.
We do. The money would go to improving the equipment, bringing on more people to help us produce more streams.
More events. We're having, especially if you're in the Baltimore area, we have a bunch of events. Make sure you check everything out on Facebook, Instagram, all that. But making those events better. We have video game trivia night coming up, so we're gonna start giving away stuff online for people to answer online. So it helps out with stuff like that. So to give back to you guys.
More money, please. All right. So on to the main topic. So during the beginning of the live stream, me and Jay were talking about this disappointments. When's the last time you've been disappointed?
One good game that really stuck there too. Of course, John and I've talked about one not too long ago. Another one was Too Human.
Mm-hmm.
They really hyped that game up. and it just didn't. It fell really short. And Xbox 360, because again, I'm an MMO guy. Xbox 360, if I'm not mistaken, was supposed to bring out an MMO Haluxi, even though it didn't come out. So I was disappointed at that. But Two Human was a big disappointment. I remember going out, buying it first day, playing it, and was like, oh, because it was supposed to be this big trilogy.
Yeah, Microsoft was planning on doing a trilogy with Two Human, and they released that first one, and it wound up being mediocre trash.
Very mediocre. Like mediocre would. And I played through it, and it was just a very much okay. It was just a very much okay game. Yeah.
So here's how this segment is gonna go. Now, look at my list, baby. So, so I went ahead in advance and created a list of 20 video game disappointments of mine personally.
Okay.
And we'll spend a couple of minutes, have you guys try to guess some of them.
Okay.
And then when you don't guess them, we're going to go through the 20.
All right.
Sounds good. So funny you mentioned Two Human. Two Human is my number 4.
Okay.
Is it really?
It is.
Did you actually play?
I did.
Okay.
It was not good.
Yes, I concur.
So I also put on Patreon. I took my top 5 that are on my list, and I put a poll on Patreon to see what they thought was the worst of that list.
All right.
Two Human got 50% of the votes.
So there are some other people that got duped into that too.
Yes, so they
Good for
agree
you,
with you.
Microsoft.
Two Human.
That was on Xbox, right?
Yeah.
It wasn't on PlayStation,
Oh,
right?
don't worry, it's on
Yeah.
PlayStation.
Okay.
Don't worry,
We
baby.
want to make sure it was on Xbox,
We got
right?
you, though.
Okay.
I got you, Sony. But yeah, Two Human was my number 4.
Okay.
Jay, you want to say?
The only one recently comes to mind is Anthem.
Yeah,
You know,
we talked about that.
we talked about it.
I mean, fine, invent yourself, man. If you want to talk about Anthem some more.
It was just the end game. I mean, there was literally nothing to do. It was just like you go through the campaign, and then after that, it was
Sit
nothing.
around with your thumb up your butt. Yeah.
Pay $60 for a game. You expect a little bit more, but you know.
And it went quick. Like you could grind through it. Like that's what it wasn't. Like it was a long. Like you could probably do it in like a night. Especially you hyped up about the first game. You get it. You get it.
The campaign's only like 4 hours.
Oh no!
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And no post game?
None.
Like the first like raid didn't come out till maybe like a month or 2.
Wow. That's garbage. So I didn't put Anthem on my list only because I didn't play it personally.
Okay.
And I didn't want to talk about anything that I did not personally experience myself.
Well, if you want to
I'll take your word for it.
It's free now. I think the game is almost like when you walk out. I think the game is literally like $4.
Yeah.
Mhm.
$4. Looks good, plays good, but once you get to like this one, like I haven't played it in I don't know how long, but I'm pretty sure only like 4 or 5 people are playing it. Like the perk of it was like getting on and playing with people. You know, looking at these nice, environments were great. Looks nice. I'm pretty sure it looked even better on Xbox One X with truth. You got to that end game and you're just like,
Basically, the community, the Anthem community's been keeping it going.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing now, since there's nothing really to do, is to grind to try to get the best gear to get your power level up to like do your damage to be 1 million or more.
Okay.
That's the thing that they're doing now. So basically, it's a race. Basically, they're speed running the game. You're grinding to be able to speed run raids at the highest level. So there's some people that can actually solo G3 raid, which is the toughest raid, which is supposed to require 4 people. The requirement is 4 people, but now people are just like obliterating raids. That's the thing now. That's all there is to do. Yeah, that's all there is to do now.
shot, Yeah.
No story or anything.
Mike, you want to take one more crack?
PlayStation Battle Royale.
I didn't put that on there only because I didn't expect anything from it.
Okay, so you weren't.
I was not disappointed because I knew it was going to be trash.
I thought that it was prospectively going to be a Smash Brothers for the PlayStation. So I thought that people that were like, okay, well, I don't have a Nintendo. This was going to be able to fill that void, and it would be something that and it just was not that. But I really don't partake in Smash Brothers all too well. But I remember like playing it and just like. Even for me, I was like, oh yeah, this is not Smash. Yeah, this is not Smash. So I can imagine how like the true Smash people were like, oh, this is going to be the PlayStation version of it. And it wasn't. Sony.
So they made a lot of like changes to the mechanics to make it not like Smash.
Right.
And that's what made it weird. Like you had to earn your special move. You know how like in Smash you gotta wait for the Smash ball to come and smash it, and that's how you get your big Smash move. And PlayStation, you had to keep doing damage to people, and the only way to knock people out was to do your Smash move. I don't want to keep calling it Smash move. I don't remember what it was called.
The Sony move.
But yeah, that was a weird decision.
I mean, I understand they take a shot at some people like do replicas of games and it does well, but that one just didn't hit the mark.
I just want to make sure y'all noted that Jay Infinity was completely silent for the Sony trash talking. So
what are you talking about? What happened?
I got time displays. What happened? I got Batman time display. What? I just woke up.
Oh, what are we talking about?
You want to take one more crack, Jay?
A disappointing game. Now, let me ask a couple questions.
Game or any moment in game and the system could be bad.
I have another one.
So okay. I might piss some people off with this one. I don't care. Mm-hmm. Nintendo 64.
Ooh, what?
Disappointment.
The whole system?
The whole system.
Jesus Christ.
Explain yourself.
All right. Okay. Besides maybe 1 or 2 games, the system as a whole sucked. Please. Besides Mario 64 and besides GoldenEye and maybe the Perfect Dark, which was basically GoldenEye mod. What was good on 64?
The Zelda games, I think, were
both
good.
Zelda games for sure.
Mario Kart.
Yeah. Okay. What else you got? Give me something.
I think they exclusively had that Killer Instinct Gold.
Ooh.
Killer Instinct people, they enjoyed that.
Mm-hmm. The 3 fans it had.
Oh, okay, they did not enjoy that.
We do.
How many games were on Nintendo 64?
No. I got you. Give me a second.
256, give or take. I'm pretty sure there was some more. But
no, there were some classics. I just need to do some research.
Garbage.
I had a 64 when it first came out because
man. I'm sorry.
I had a lot of no. I had a lot of games. I just got to go back and think Conker's Bad Fur Day.
Yes, Conker.
Okay. Here we go.
Was there a Banjo and Kazooie game?
All the Banjo and Kazooies were on 64.
Okay, and they were good.
Yeah,
I mean they weren't like knock out the park great, but they were.
Nintendo 64 was horrible. I'm sorry.
It's the system that created the second joystick.
It did literally.
You can credit them for first-person shooting. Call of Duty would suck if it wasn't for the N64.
Nah, because
and the
still got PC for Call of Duty. So
well, okay, console Call of Duty would suck if it wasn't for the C-stick.
My Nintendo 64, and a lot of people don't remember because they probably didn't read like Game Pro magazine and things like that back in the day. Nintendo 64 was billed as Nintendo's version of Neo Geo. Basically, they promised arcade style graphics on a home console, and they failed.
And I think I remember one time they had a Listerine commercial. I don't know if you remember, where the Listerine bottle was swinging through the trees, and it was like Tarzan. And I remember someone saying like, "This is going to be comparable of what the N64 was supposed to look like," and of course, it didn't.
Damn, I don't remember anybody saying that.
Ooh, you don't?
I do remember that for some odd reason. Yeah,
I remember.
I don't know why I remember that. But
so
for the time, the system was good. I mean, I don't necessarily think it was that bad. I mean, it's not on my top 5 gaming list.
So
gaming console list.
The Nintendo 64 itself didn't make my list because I am a sane person. But something that almost made my list and I had to make some cuts was the Nintendo 64 expansion pack. Do you remember that? Have y'all remember that?
Was that the piece that you just popped in?
Yeah, it was a little cartridge that you stuck in the front of the 64, which is weird because the base 64, ever since its inception, was created with that slot in the front. So it was almost like they knew they were going to have to eventually approve the graphics. So
we'll do it later.
5 years into its console generation, it came out with the expansion pack, and it was promised that all these games were going to take advantage of the expansion pack, and not a lot of them did.
And the one
I'm about to say the resolution was like
I'm about to say the ones that did it didn't make it look that much better. I remember as a kid I had the South Park first person shooter. And it smoothed edges. And that was about it. Now there were like 2 games I think you had to have the expansion pack in order to play. It was Donkey Kong 64 and it was Majora's Mask.
Okay.
But Donkey Kong 64 was ugly. with the expansion pack. So I don't know what the expansion pack was doing. Anyway,
64 wouldn't even accept it. Ew.
That one,
I need a friend to help me out with this one.
That one barely did not make my list.
Mm.
So you said you wanted to take one more crack. Got this.
WWE 2K20.
You looked at my list.
I did. But no, I figured that because you're a wrestling fan and I played the game and I seen how broken it was.
Oh boy, that game was trash.
It was. And what prompted me to play it actually was because how broken you told me it was and Cool Kev told me it was. I said, this game can't be. Yeah, it is. I said, this game can't be this. Whoa. I remember I think either you tagged me in it on, when I played it, it was just like minor, like, but I've seen, like, I think either you tagged me in something or Cool Kev, and the person is in the screen. And there's a person just going around the ring, just knocking the ropes. Like, he's just spinning, like, literally, like, and the guy's just in the ring, just like, what the people getting body slammed through the ring. Like, doing a selection thing. It was just people, eyes and teeth. They were just, yeah, it was bad. It was bad.
Yeah, so I was a big apologist for the WWE 2K games because I do enjoy them. Like, graphically, they look really good. The roster would normally be pretty good. Everybody who you really would want to be in there would be in there. They would squeeze some of the legends in there. A lot of the NXT people, which is their developmental league. Well, that's a thing. That's another discussion. But a lot of them are put in there. And it was normally a really good wrestling sim. The controls took a lot of getting used to. But what happened was Ukes, the people who from far back made the Nintendo 64, other Nintendo 64 games. Oh,
yes, the WWE.
All the wrestling games.
All of them, literally. I forgot about them
WCW versus NWO World Tour, WrestleMania 2000, No Mercy, you psychopath.
We are actually we're doing wrestling night down here, and we are running No Mercy. We're running a wrestling, and we are literally running 264s with No Mercy. So you have to create your character and defend your belt.
I'm sorry.
Anywho, the Ukes, the people who were responsible for developing those 64 games, they stuck around with 2K and kept developing those 2K games. 2K19, when they were done that, they left because they wanted to create supposedly their own independent wrestling game. So they were left to Visual Concepts, which is a team within 2K Sports. They left it to them to make 2K20.
It wasn't.
So they pretty much had to start from the ground up.
Yes. I mean, I don't know. I assumed there would be some sort of handshake before Ukes left because it's not like they left on bad terms. But boy, this game was ugly. So many glitches. And I mean like glitches in cutscenes.
Yeah, I haven't. So I used to play the
SmackDown versus Raws.
Yeah, but like for like the PlayStation 2, and I kind of missed it like when 360 came out because me, Cool Kevin Burner, we would literally like he would make a character and I would make, and I like that, and I like, but I just kind of like fell off the games. But because you guys were complaining how bad this one was, I said it can't be that bad. And I went out and got it. And it was bad.
That game was so bad, 2K decided to take a year off. They decided to not do a 2K21. Like, oh, we need to go back and figure this out.
So that's what prompted me to play it. Like,
yeah. So anyway, WWE 2K20 was number 8 on my list.
Okay.
All right. Well, get out of here.
Okay. Let me see that thing.
Do you want to just you want to take another crack, Jay, or you want me to just go ahead and go through my list?
Let me go with I'm gonna go with the Xbox game. Fables 2.
They didn't make my list only because I did not play it.
Okay.
But I did hear about that.
Yeah. Let me take another shot.
The Fable franchise was just, I know Peter Molyneux was the guy who made that, right? I know he made a big promise with Fable.
He said Fable was going to be the best RPG you ever played.
They do that a lot.
But he said that about
Microsoft.
He said that
they always. But go ahead. It seems to be a theme.
Yeah, you said that it was going to be the best RPG you ever played, and Fable 1, of course, came out and didn't. And Fable 1 was, in my opinion, a good game, but it just wasn't the best RPG I ever played. And I think that's what, foot and mouth. And then Fable 2 just wasn't nowhere near as good as Fable, And then Fable 3, I don't think I even played Fable 3. And then they just went off with some crazy tangents after Fable 3. Am I speaking too low?
Oh, there was a Fable 3?
Okay.
There was There was Fable 3?
There was a Fable.
There was
3.
a Fable 3.
Okay.
It was, yeah.
Oh, exactly.
There was a Fable.
You didn't
3.
remember for a reason.
Yeah. That was a
It's
Fable
like-
3.
it's like
And,
Xbox.
and then I think they started doing like strategy games with Fate. Like they
A
just
lot of things. They did a party game.
they just went everywhere with. I think they just didn't know what to do because it just started to decline. And I think they'd be like, "Oh, let's do an RTS." No, like no, just make the RPG, but make it good. So
yeah. Fable
Um,
didn't make my list because of I didn't play it.
let me think.
Fable 2.
I'm trying to think.
You're gonna kick
Street
yourself.
Fighter 5. Oh,
Ooh, that's a good one. I didn't put on my list
okay.
because that did suck when it came out.
It And again, the guys will literally come in and be like, "That game is fucking terrible. It sucks." Hey, Street Fighter 5. I'd be like, "You just said." I think over time they've made it a little bit better, but initially the game was because again I bought it for the the shop and to play, and I remember paying $60 for like it was like almost like regular. It was like 8 characters. I was like, "What the? I couldn't."
Yeah, it was 8 characters and only 3 of them were legacy Street Fighter people. That was so crazy.
And then evidently, again, I didn't get a chance to play it online, but people were talking about the net code and how bad it was, and just you have all this stuff, and it was just a bad game, evidently. So
Yeah, I forgot about it. That was my bad. It
Okay.
probably should be on my list, but I didn't put it on there.
after that, I don't think I have anything else.
think of anything.
Yeah.
Cool.
So let's see this
Well,
list. Let's
let's
pull
take
that
a look.
pull that thing out.
Pull that thing out. We're gonna go one.
I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a
By
lot.
one.
Microsoft.
So go
on there.
over which ones we guessed so far off your list. So you have 10, right?
I'm gonna talk about those as we
Okay.
reach
All right.
them.
Cool.
So 20 is gonna be a little. That's probably the only controversial one on my list.
okay.
But it was disappointing to me. Pokemon Sword and Shield is my 20.
So it was disappointing, correct?
Yeah. So objectively, if you look at it, if you never played a Pokemon game before and you pick up Sword and Shield,
Which is where I am, because that's what I was about to
yeah,
ask you.
it's a good game.
All right.
It is a good game,
'Cause
but
I'm not going in with any other previous
any
okay.
expectation.
All right.
It's a good game.
Like my love life. I hope you women don't want
As long as you don't expect
anything, we are gonna have a good time.
if you expect 2
Leave
minutes,
those standards out the door. We
2
about to
minutes
be-
of crying.
by me on my mama's futon. All right, so okay, cool.
To bring you up to speed, Sword and Shield is the first mainline Pokemon console game. And Pokemon fans have been crying ever since the Nintendo 64 to please put a mainline game on console.
Okay.
And they just refused to do it. It was always on the Game Boy. It was always on the DS. If you was on the 64, you just had to settle for Snap, which is a good game.
Or
But
Pokemon
it's
Stadium.
yeah, Pokemon Stadium, which requires you to own a Game Boy game. but yeah. So this one, Nintendo has been teasing for quite a while that it was going to be like the next gen Pokemon game, and people bought it, and it was literally like X and Y with a coat of paint on it.
Really?
Yeah.
So
Mhm.
I get not that I want an opinion when I'm going into what was the difference between the original Pokemon and X and Y that what happened between
More Pokemon.
Okay. So,
That's all it is.
okay. All right. All right.
Literally, the first Pokemon to
Yeah.
now, it's the exact same.
Yeah.
game.
It's just the number of
You
Pokemon.
just add more Pokemon.
Okay,
Yeah.
all right.
They did make some quality of life changes.
Okay.
Because back with the original ones, there was no auto save. You had to literally go to a certain place and save, and you had to go to a certain place if you wanted to change your starting lineup of Pokemon. You couldn't
Okay.
just do that on the fly.
Yeah. You gotta go to the Poke Center.
Yeah, exactly. So those changes carried over, but things like actual multiplayer battles,
Mm.
actual multiplayer engagement, there's still random battles. You still don't see a lot of Pokemon roaming around the world.
So basically, they just need to do a Pokemon MMO.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, yes, we want that. We want a Pokemon MMO.
Yeah, and
But-
they've done it pseudo kind of on mobile. I
Mhm.
forget the exact name of the game. but-
1010, if I'm not mistaken.
No.
No,
It
you're
was
talking about
actually a
Pokemon.
game.
Oh, actually.
Yeah, I downloaded it. I
oh,
forget
okay.
the name of it, but
Mhm.
it was kind of like a MMO almost.
Mhm.
But they kind of pseudo did it already. But
Mm.
they really need a full blown Pokemon MMO.
I can
Like,
battle my friend in Pokemon Go.
Right.
I mean, it's super rudimentary.
But
But-
nonetheless,
like
you
yeah.
get
raid,
that-
like an actual you go and
Like,
raid
come
Snorlax.
on.
Like,
I can do that on a
That'd be
cell
cool.
phone game. Why can I not do that on my Switch?
Mhm.
It's ridiculous. That game, And Nintendo heard all these gripes.
I'm sure.
They knew what we wanted, and they just released this Breath of the Wild, a game that came out on launch of the Switch, looks better than Sword and Shield. Ridic.
So again, not to delve too much down this rabbit hole, do you think there's a reason why they're just not doing it? Or you think they're trying to hold up for this one big like end game type of thing? Or they're just like, we're going to keep milking this pony because y'all keep buying it?
I watched the interview with Game Freak and the Pokemon Company. Those are the people who actually make the Pokemon games.
Right.
Nintendo just publishes them.
Okay.
But they made the excuse that they have they don't have a lot of developers, and they're working on other projects.
All the money they made.
I was about to say.
It's basically they knew that they could just put this out there and we would just buy it.
All they have to do
print
is
money.
Literally.
They could just sell one of their Charizard cards.
They
Just sell
knew-
your own Charizard card and you got the money. It's worth
Basically,
$15,000.
they knew they didn't have to put the effort in, so they just shoveled this out. And again, it's Sword and Shield, not bad games. But for this to be the console RPG,
Right. It's not cutting it.
No.
Okay. All right. I'll take that.
that's my 20. So whatever. Rage me in the comments. I don't give a crap. My number 19 is the original Watch Dogs.
Yes. 2 should have been 1. 2 was what they hyped up 1 to be.
Yep.
I agree with that.
Yeah.
And that pretty much sums it up.
Yeah, to catch you up to speed, the original E3 trailer for Watch Dogs, they showed off a lot of features that did not make the final game.
Oh, Anthem. Okay.
Ubisoft added again. But yeah, I can't remember the specific things they promised, but you was basically supposed to be able to hack literally anything. You're supposed to be able to hack any civilian, and the real game came out and it wound up only being certain things you could interact with. It could only being certain people you can interact with. And basically, Watchdog Legions, which is the game that's about to come out on next gen, is the game that they told us Watchdog 1 was going to be.
So Watch Dogs 1 was the beta.
Basically. So yeah,
And
you
Watch
paid
Dogs
$60.
2 was alpha because 2 was a big upgrade
It
from
was.
1. 2 was more in line of what they were saying it was going to do. It kind of implemented more of those elements, but evidently, like you said, 3 is going to be the definitive one that they said was going to happen 11 years ago.
Yes. But yeah, I'm excited for Watch Dogs Legions. I'm, might be an idiot, but I've seen a lot of gameplay and I see a lot of trailers, and it does look like it's finally going to be what we were promised
Good.
all that long time ago.
Which is weird. Like, why like, if they were gonna do this anyway, why hype it up so much in the beginning? Like, you mean like put out what you're gonna put out.
Mhm.
Don't hype it up. But of course, with every sequel, it's gonna be an improvement. So why even hype up something like that and then have an 11-year cycle, and then after 11 years we're finally gonna get what we want.
I don't know if they legit thought they could do it,
Mhm.
and then it just came close to launch, and they were like, "Uh-oh."
This is what we got.
I don't understand why developers. Oh, I understand why developers do it. 'Cause
Yeah.
they're just trying
Right.
to make money and they're under pressure. So,
Mhm.
But
Even with Watchdog Legions, and I don't want to go too far off the rails, where initially E3 last year, I think when they debuted it, and they said you can take control and recruit any civilian in London, and I was like, whoa. I want to see that.
Queen of England. Come on, baby, let's go.
And then this past Ubisoft Forward event where they showed off actual gameplay, and it started. You kind of, if you were watching, you could kind of figure out how they might be doing it, because that was the big thing, was like, how are they going to do this? But it looks like it's going to be several traits, and these civilians can only have some of these several traits. So there is a construction worker.
Okay.
And there are probably like several construction workers in London. There's like old lady, and there's gonna be several old ladies. So I don't know. I don't know enough yet, but I feel like that's how the game's gonna work. And it's
Okay.
that still will scratch my itch. But
Okay.
I don't know if it's still not meeting that expectation of you can literally grab anybody.
Right. Like we're thinking. Like literally just grab
Yeah.
anybody.
We shall see though.
All right.
My 18 is the ending of the Telltale The Walking Dead series.
I didn't play all the way through. It was 6 or 8.
It was 5?
Really? Okay.
5 seasons.
Redaction. Unless Brian is correct. I think after like the second season, I just stopped. Not because it wasn't I just stopped.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know if you need to get that. No. Okay, so yeah, it's 5 seasons, and the first season started off so good. So you
Very
never
good.
played any of them.
I did. I played the first season and second season.
Okay, so spoiler alert.
Okay.
I
5 years later, here you go.
If you were planning on playing Telltales The Walking Dead,
Stop now, Paul. Fast forward.
I'm gonna wave my hands or something. Oh damn, the
That's why they
podcast listeners.
need to get the Patreon.
Anyway, so Walking Dead, the video game, the Telltale game, takes place in the graphic novel universe.
Yes.
And you start off playing as this guy named Lee, who is being arrested by the cops.
Yes.
And the
Guess
zombie
what color it
apocalypse.
is.
Oh boy, we're not gonna do that. So the zombie apocalypse happens as he's being transported to prison, and he's able to escape. He meets this young girl named Clementine, who she doesn't know at the time, but her parents definitely have been eaten by zombies and never came home. So he winds up adopting her. And anyway, fast forward, you meet these bunch of people, and this is all happening in season 1. Some of those people wind up backstabbing you, blah blah blah. Lee and Clementine get away, but in the midst of that, Lee gets bit. And you spend like the final episode or 2 coping with the fact that Lee may eventually pass or turn.
Right.
So at the end of season 1, the big reveal was you spend the whole time controlling Lee. At the final episode, you begin controlling Clementine because Lee's now turning. And as Clementine, you have to make the decision to either kill Lee or let him live so he can turn. And like that, and I'm not doing it justice. You have to play it.
Yeah.
But that moment like blew me away.
Yeah.
And the series never gets back to that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
I think I played the second, but I seen the second season was kind of like, because now you're fully Clementine now. So now it's like retelling, like, this is where Clementine is now. So I assume, like, in the latest series, it would have gotten back to those climatic episodes, but evidently
they try, but they never really create another person that you
connect with like
Lee.
Ah.
So
kind of like another game on PlayStation that we gain a person we connected with and then kill them. Damn you, Sony.
So how the series ends is you're still playing as Clementine, and you're now grown up Clementine, and you're taking care of a kid named AJ.
Okay.
Who was the baby of a friend in a new posse that you had.
Okay.
And his parents passed away.
All right.
So you wind up taking care of AJ. AJ is now like maybe 4 or 5 years old, if I had to guess. And there's a moment where Clementine gets bit.
Oh.
And now you're taking control of AJ. So they're recreating that moment.
Right.
You taking control of AJ, and you have to now decide whether to let Clementine die
or let her turn.
And you make a decision. Either you choose to kill her or you choose to let her turn. No matter what decision you make, you get the same ending.
Remember that decision you made? Yeah, this is what's going to happen regardless.
So no matter what happens, like AJ struggles to do the thing that you ask him to do. It goes black and it fades up, and AJ's alive. And they slowly reveal that Clementine's, spoiler alert, I'm sorry. They slowly reveal that Clementine's alive, and her arm, the arm that was bitten, is missing. Like he cut it off.
Okay.
Now, the reason that pisses a lot of people off is when Lee dies, before Lee dies, you can choose to cut his arm off. And it doesn't work.
Oh.
You can choose to cut the bit.
I don't think I remember.
So you can play that game and not see that part.
Okay.
But he gets bit, and you have to immediately make a decision of whether you're going to just let the bite stay or whether you're going to choose to cut the arm off that's bitten. Mm-hmm. But if you choose to cut that arm off, he still turns.
I mean,
but it worked for Clementine.
I mean, okay. I don't see a problem with that.
That's
sacrilegious.
Retcon like hell.
That's not really a retcon because, you know, if it's based in the graphic novel world, everybody's already infected.
True.
And the way you turn is if you catch a fever when you get sick. Mm-hmm. Like the fever is actually what activates, is the catalyst for turning. Mm-hmm. So if she got bit and got the arm cut off, but she didn't get a fever then she was fine. I don't see a problem with that.
Yeah, but the bite escalates. The bite escalates the process though. Right. Like even if yes, everybody is infected, and once you pass, you still awaken as a zombie.
Even when what's his name? In the comic, the guy that got his leg cut off. Not Dale. It was another guy that
Herschel.
not Herschel.
Not Herschel.
No, forget his name.
But then Herschel get his leg cut off.
He was the guy, the tainted meat guy.
Oh,
remember when the cannibal?
Yeah,
like he didn't turn. Well, he was gonna turn, but they ate him before he turned, and then he was yelling tainted meat.
So we don't know that, but anyway, that was just.
Oh, spoiler alert!
If you're one of the 2 people still watching The Walking Dead.
Anyway, it pissed me off. It pissed a lot of people off.
And you sticking with it.
I'm sticking with it. 18's Walking Dead ending. You suck. 17 is the first Sony entry.
Oh.
It is the PlayStation Classic.
The actual system.
The actual
mini system.
Mini PlayStation 1.
You guys are reaching.
No, what?
You guys are reaching.
Name get a bunch of
Name one game on that PlayStation Classic that you would buy that PlayStation Classic to play.
I don't need to. Because I wouldn't have bought a PlayStation
Pause
Classic.
real quick. Right,
anyway.
I get this key to her.
We don't gotta pause. We can just do it without you. As long as you don't shout like that, you we're gonna do this. You're gonna song and dance around why the PlayStation Classic sucked. Why it launched at $80 and now it's on store shelves for $30.
For one thing, PlayStation fans didn't ask for it. Okay.
I mean, yeah, it's obviously a cash grab on the success of the Super Nintendo Mini and the Nintendo Mini and blah 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 blah.
True.
But they should have known with that library of games that they put on that PlayStation Classic that nobody wanted IntelliCube or freaking.
What is that?
Or like the first Gran Turismo or Ridge Race. It was like the library of games on there was so bad.
Okay.
No Final Fantasy 7 on there. I mean, for
Final
obvious reasons.
Yeah, you
but
might get that.
There are better caliber games that they could have put on there besides what was on there. Like it got so much flack that I'm not really sure what games were on there. And what IntelliCube?
Can you pull it up real quick on your phone? Can you Google the
Pull it up or pull it out?
Whoa.
Triple X.
Oh, I mean, let's be honest though. How many people that bought any of the minis actually played them? Because I know people that
people get them for
a month or two later, they were selling them, trying to get rid of them because they didn't play them. Like, but you just gonna rag on the PlayStation?
Yeah, but why do you think they didn't play them? Because there's no games to play on.
The nostalgia bug got them.
Yeah, that Metal Gear Solid, Tekken 3, Jumping Flash, Grand Theft Auto, Battle Arena Toshinden. They could have put Battle Arena Toshinden 3. Rayman, Wild Arms, Destruction Derby, Cool Borders 2, Siphon Filter, Persona, Twisted Metal, Ridge Racer 4. Oh, no, that's not it. I'm sorry, I'm reading the wrong thing.
Do you not know how to Google?
Just reading random PlayStation 1 games?
And then what I put, and look what it popped up.
Okay. I mean, it was right so far, I thought.
Final Fantasy 7 wasn't on
there.
Oh,
no.
Neither was
because I thought the original Rayman was on there, and I thought the original Grand Theft Auto.
There was a couple games that I read, and I was like, this thing is not that bad. But when I hit the search button.
Anyway.
All right.
It's not that important. Take my word for it. That gaming, that list of games was not good.
What we got next?
My number 16 is the Nintendo Virtual Boy.
Oh, yes.
The thing that made you blind.
And if you weren't, you would want to blind yourself.
So for y'all that weren't there at the time, so
we were there, baby.
Nintendo tried to create the first VR headset in the late 90s.
And it was supposed to be kind of like a portable headset, so it was small enough for you to kind of like take.
Portable?
It
came in a carrying case.
It was like this.
It needed to sit on a table.
Right.
Yeah. So it was almost like this thing right here with the big, it's kind of like, so it wasn't like the big VR like you would think.
So think PlayStation VR just 3 times the size.
And it can only do the color red.
It was like 50 pounds. And you put it on your head.
But yeah, Nintendo hyped this thing up, and I remember convincing my mom to buy me one like day one, and she was so upset.
She got you one?
She got me one. I wish I kept it just for her nostalgia reasons.
Did you apologize later on? Like,
no, I just tried to act like I was still playing it, and I really wasn't.
This game was great.
But it sucks because it had some cool games on it.
Yeah.
And it had some cool ideas of like playing in that 3D space. But if you wore that thing for more than 10 minutes, you got migraines.
I remember. So you kind of just put, because I've only like play. I never actually
Mhm.
had one. So you just put your head up to it, or
Yeah.
you put your
You
head
have it on
in
the
it.
stand. Yeah.
It came on a tripod and it stood on a table, and you had to kind of like just place your face on the goggles.
Okay. Did it have
And-
like a headband thing, or you
No,
just
you
kind of
did
like,
not attach it to your face.
like the NBA where you just kind of like.
because they knew you would need to take breaks. And they,
Yo, the thing was heavy. You weren't.
yeah,
Really?
you couldn't
I
attach
thought
that
it
thing
was
to your face.
portable. I was just why I said portable.
Well,
I'm
I
sorry, I'm
mean-
redacting that now. It's
Yeah,
not
I mean,
portable.
it was portable,
Yeah,
but
it didn't need to be plugged into a wall, but you definitely weren't like walking down the street in
I
your
mean, that's
virtual
what I meant,
boy.
like, you could kind of like grab it. and
There
take
was a
somewhere.
case for it.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
again, that thing was like I don't know. I exaggerate when I say 50 pounds,
But
but
it
it
was-
wasn't.
it was
It wasn't
heavy.
light. It
I'm
wasn't
pretty
light at
sure
all.
it's 90s. They didn't refine things
Yeah.
like they are now. So
But yeah, I do commend Nintendo for being adventurous and trying to bring the future to us 20 years earlier than they should have. But woof, that was not it.
let's go.
Anyway, 15,
15.
another PlayStation game. Well, another PlayStation entry. Let's see how you apologize for this one.
Here we go.
The Order 1886.
What? Oh, I know. Huh? What is
What?
that?
Huh? Where?
We
I
got.
don't even-
I have a copy of it. We're gonna time down. Play it. No, I don't want to. Go ahead. It's great. It's Sony. I'm sorry.
What do you? What?
So, for those that don't know and for those that are trying to forget, The Order 1886 was supposed to be a launch game for the PlayStation 4.
And funny story. PlayStation has the PlayStation Share thing where you can play other people's games.
Mhm.
And our good friend that just walked in, Bernard, bought the game,
Ooh.
and he was like, "Yeah, you got to play this.
Ooh.
You got to witness it for yourself." Bernard, real quick, just offhand, how was the Order 1886 when you got it? Big yo. All right, Bernard said it was okay.
Don't listen to him. Don't listen to Bernard. It was not okay.
I think people's main concern was it was so on the rails linear. It's third person shooter, and I think it was short. It looked good.
So it was made by it was big hype around it because it was made by Ready at Dawn. Ready at Dawn is known for porting a lot of big franchises to the PlayStation Vita.
Okay.
They handled the God of Wars on the PlayStation Vita. They ported well, not ported. They created a standalone Jack and Dexter for the Vita. And this was their first original IP. And it was a third-person shooter that took place in a alternate 19th century
London.
London, where you were fighting werewolves with these high-tech guns created by Tesla.
Okay.
Nikola Tesla.
Sound cool, right? Super cool pitch. Now, put in overlong cutscenes and areas where you needed to just walk and not fight, and on the rails combat.
Yeah, very on the
and
rails.
It was no bueno.
I just thought the game was very okay. Just a strong okay. By the time I got my own copy of it, the game was like $10. I wasn't woofing about it. It was just a strong okay. But I mean, I guess I could see you woofing about it. They did kind of hype it up. But the game looked good. So you're looking at it, you're like, ooh, this is going to be great. And it wasn't that
I don't
great.
think the game exists. I think you just making stuff up.
Just make it- Let's play
Who
Mom
names,
Lover.
Who names a game Order 1866? That sounds made
Mom
up.
Lover 55.
Now that I remember, that PS4 launch list was not good.
Was it a launch?
That was a launch title
Okay.
along with Knack,
Yes, Knack was.
along with
Oh, man, you just making
I should have
stuff
just
up.
put
These
that whole
names, these names don't even make sense. And Bloop. Remember Bloop?
I'm changing my I'm changing my 15 to the entire PS4 launch lineup.
It's not how you start the race. It's how you finish.
But that's my 15, Order 1886. My 14 is see, I'm sharing a hate. This is a Nintendo entry. Metroid Other M.
Never played it to have.
Have you? Do you remember it?
I remember it.
I did.
So Metroid Other M was another adventurous entry by Nintendo because they partnered with Team Ninja, the people who made the Ninja Gaiden games,
I do. Okay.
to create a new Metroid. People who have been playing Metroid have been clamoring for a new Metroid since Metroid Prime 3.
Right.
And everybody was like, please just give us another Metroid Prime. Please just give us another Super Metroid. And Nintendo's like, ooh, how about if we give you a third-person action game created by Team Ninja?
Who makes fighting games and Shinobi games?
And Team Ninja tried to create all this new lore. And it was like,
What system?
it was on the Wii.
Oh, yes.
Yes, it was on the Wii. And
Yes.
the quirky thing about it was you played with the Wiimote, And if you pointed the Wiimote at the screen, it was a first-person shooter.
Okay.
But if you turned the Wiimote sideways, it turned into a third-person action platformer.
Okay.
And that function did not work well. As you can
know, what's happening now?
They were very optimistic on
wasn't quite sure how
that Wiimote worked.
Yeah, not sure. Maybe you guys want to do both at the same time, kind of. Yeah, I didn't get a chance to partake, so I'm just gonna give you that one.
Yeah,
I played for about 5 minutes.
That's
and that whole
that was 6 minutes too long.
Turning the controller around, like basically, if you aim that Wii remote off screen, it shifted.
Even if you're still trying to play like the first, if you kind of like go off.
If you go off, so if you got a little screen, if you got like a 14-inch.
Yeah, I feel attacked. You got a little screen. Hey, who you talk to? You talk to Keisha? All right. Metroid Other M. What
Metroid Other M. 13 is back to Microsoft. Sea of Thieves.
Ooh. Yes. Ooh. I bought that game.
Oh yeah, you got some.
I didn't play it, but I followed that game because I was, again, like hyping it up to be this great thing, and then people were playing it, and they were,
it was literally. I'm talking about day one for me. Nothing to do.
There wasn't any. Yeah, there literally was nothing to do.
Nothing to do.
You just go kill some zombies and
if you could
dig up some treasure, and that was it.
Not what I was thinking.
So I'll take the L as far as Mike wasting his money on it. So I got into the beta for Sea of Thieves, and I really enjoyed it because at the time it was a beta, and you're playing it with the mindset of it's a beta, and when the full game comes out, they're gonna add some stuff.
And not to put all the crap on you, I remember you telling me that.
Yeah,
it was like this is a beta. They're going to add more. But when the game came out, you were like, "This is still the beta." Oh, this was the beta. Oh, my bad. Oops. You were like, "Oh yeah, this is the beta." Sorry. Oh, I'm time to play some Batman.
But it was I'm believing I might be mistaken that Sea of Thieves was one of the original Game Pass games. It was one of the games that was, and that's how I had it. So I had Game Pass. I got Sea of Thieves. I was invited into the beta, and then Sea of Thieves came out, and I was like, "Oh no, they didn't add anything." So apparently, 1 year later, that it has changed. They added new modes. They added new features. You can now play it solo. That was another big gripe, was if you felt like playing Sea of Thieves by yourself, you couldn't because you needed at least another person to pilot the boat.
Let me drive the boat.
So if you tried to play it by yourself, it was a no-go. You could not do it.
Right.
But so they finally changed that. They added smaller boats. I haven't gone back to it to see if it deserves to be taken off the list.
Oh, I got a copy. You can have it.
No, thank you.
Stick it in your pocket on the way out.
I will just assume that it still sucks, and it'll say 13 on my list. Number 12. I don't know if either of you played it, but Mighty Number 9.
Yes.
Well, I heard how bad it was, so I just didn't play. So it was a different, like with WWE. That's funny, Bernard and y'all leaving me? I'll catch up with y'all. All right. I'll hold y'all in my bosoms. So my two compadres just left. We used to play the wrestling games a lot, and as bad as they told me it was, that's why I played 2K. Mm-hmm. But Mighty Number 9, I heard how bad it was, and I was just like, I think I just need to stay away from this one altogether.
So one of the reasons why Mighty Number 9 is so high on the list is Mighty Number 9 is one of the first games that were fully funded by Kickstarter.
Yep.
And it was such a big hype because I believe one of the original creators of the Mega Man series left Capcom. He wanted to create this spiritual successor to the original Mega Man games. And he put Mighty Number 9 on Kickstarter, and it quadrupled the goal. And first it was getting postponed. It was supposed to come out a couple of months, and it got pushed back a year. It got pushed back another year. Now these people that have already plunked down this money that you can't get your money back on, and they're like, where's Mighty Number 9? And I think he just got pressured into releasing this game, and it was garbage. And I don't know how you mess up a Mega Man clone. I would have. I'm not a game developer, but Mega Man's design looks pretty simple to me.
Just go to the right and shoot stuff,
and change the different guns that I'm shooting with,
and the color palette. There you go.
Woof. I mean, like the platforming was bad. The hit detection was bad. Everything about it was just garbage.
Is that pretty much what you played as well?
Yeah. I played the first level, and that was I'm like, this is not Mega Man.
Yeah.
This is shitty.
I remember that. I remember just I mean, it was just like unanimously across the board. Everybody was just like, "What the hell is this?" So,
and that was a game I followed from beginning.
Mhm.
From the beginning, I was excited
Yep.
about it. Like,
Yeah, I'm a big Mega Man fan. I love. I don't know if y'all have learned this about me yet. I love punishing difficulty. I love difficult games, and Mega Man is just one of those old school games that have always been super hard.
yeah, going back and even playing the older like Mega Man 1, 2, like I was like, why would my parents let me play this? This is hard. Like I hate them.
I'm more of an X fan, but I will go back and play those
Okay.
Mega Mans. But yeah, Mighty Number 9 was trash. This was my number 12. My number 11, Mass Effect Andromeda.
I played a good little bit of it. I didn't think it got. It was okay to me. It wasn't bad, but it was okay.
I think the I think the flack that it got was just a bit exaggerated.
Yeah.
It was a bit exaggerated.
It was okay. It wasn't as good as the previous ones, but yeah, I don't think it.
I mean, I can understand why people were disappointed because they were expecting more.
Yeah.
But
it was still an okay game.
It wasn't Mighty Number 9 bad.
I mean, let's tell the story. So, Mass Effect is this grand franchise, right? Like it was one of the only games that were like a planned trilogy that actually worked, right?
Mm-hmm.
Carried your character. You stayed with this Commander Shepard through like several years, and I think people seen Mass Effect Andromeda and really wanted something akin to that.
Right. Something grandiose, especially for the ending. And it wasn't as grandiose.
Well, they patched 3 and I think fixed the ending.
And I think that might have been that might have been, I think I played it by the time they had like fixed it up a little bit. So probably by the time I got my grubs on it, it wasn't that bad of a game. I didn't play it like when it first came out. So I will see that. So
Mass Effect Andromeda, one of the big disparities of Mass Effect Andromeda, when it came out, I believe they eventually patched it and fixed it, where the graphics were god awful. Like, I mean, like you would approach people and they were just staring at you like,
I think
it was kind of like the Bethesda engine where you approach somebody and they're like,
hello,
my shop.
I don't want anything now.
What are you buying? That's how people. It was just. It was.
You want to see my nipples? No, I just want to bullets for my gun.
Some people were grotesque. Like there was screenshots where they approached non-playable characters and their lips were missing, and it was just teeth. And and this is like $1 million budget EA game,
right?
You know,
and the last one, so you could have learned your lessons from the previous one. So
exactly.
Yes.
True. So you stay there, Mass Effect Andromeda, and you know what? I'll say this: if I do say something, and y'all like, what is this doing here? And y'all successfully talk me out of it, I'll take it off the list.
Okay.
So far, I think my list is solid. Now we're in the top 10, baby.
All right.
This is the Groaners. My number 10 is a doozy too. Crackdown 3.
Yeah. I didn't get again.
Crackdown 3.
Y'all talk so bad about it collectively because you, Bernard, Cool Kev, when all three of y'all get the griping about a game that I just don't want to like partake in, I know it's bad. And all three of y'all just said how bad Crackdown 3 was in comparison to the other two. So I'll pass. I didn't play it.
Crackdown. I'm sorry. Crackdown 3 was a cash grab. That's all it was.
Yeah.
I didn't even make any cash.
No, they gave it away.
Right.
So, and they still didn't want it.
So I was a big fan of the original Crackdown. That first Crackdown did a lot of things that basically innovated the open world genre. And a lot of things that Crackdown did, a lot of open world games copied during that generation. Fast forward 20 years, and you kind of need to grow as a game, right? You can't still be that
same basic
archaic open world fetch quests kind of thing. And I think Microsoft banked on a nostalgia bug.
Okay.
Microsoft.
And it's and so they teased Crackdown 3 has been in development hell for a very long time. And they kept on teasing it and promoting it. And as it got closer to release date, they kept slowly dialing back the promises. It was very funny. Like one of the big promises was in Crackdown 3, you'll be able to destroy anything. like reminiscent of Red Faction Armageddon.
Yes.
Like any building you see, bam, gone, blown up, anything.
Or like Battlefield.
Correct. So close to like a month before it was supposed to come out,
By
they were like,
anything, we meant trash cans.
so that function will only be in the multiplayer version. What?
Yeah, and why would it be in the multiplayer version but not the regular single player version? And it wasn't even in the multiplayer version. Again, I didn't play it. So
Yeah.
and the multiplayer version, could you destroy everything?
Yeah, but it was just
It just wasn't.
it was ugly.
Okay.
The multiplayer version was ugly. It didn't take place in the actual city. It looked like you were in like a training sim. It looked like Tron. And the multiplayer was a separate download. Like it wasn't even the same game. You had to download the multiplayer separately.
Like Modern Warfare.
Yeah, yeah.
Call of Duty.
But the single player was trash. The story was archaic. Terry Crews is annoying.
Don't we know?
In more ways than one. But yeah, like I said, that game did not scratch the itch that I thought it was going to scratch.
Evidently.
Yeah.
Sorry, crap down.
Crapdown 3. My number 10. My number 9.
My number 9.
Fallout 76.
Fallout 76. Another game that I did not play because of how bad I heard it was. Even after it dropped to like $20 a week after it came out.
Yeah, you're an MMO guy. I assumed you was going to fall right into that trap.
And I like Fallout games. I even played Fallout 4 all through the patches, and I muscled through that. But that,
Nah, I didn't even give it a chance.
neither did I.
I finally gave it a chance. It was added to the Xbox Game Pass, and that was the reason why I jumped into it. Like, I'm paying for this thing. I might as well go ahead and jump in. And it deserves all. And this is even after the patches. People kept saying that Bethesda went back and they patched the game and they added some stuff, and it's still not a fun game to play.
What pissed me off about it was that it wasn't fun,
Mm-hmm.
and the fact that Bethesda took so long with the patches, and there were actually like modders, like just one person made a few tweaks, and it just made the game look much better. That's what pissed me off. Bethesda, you took our money. You make millions of dollars. Some guy in his room, in his basement, spent 15 minutes
fixing the game,
and it looks way better than what you put out.
And then I heard they were like little annoying aesthetics, like the bottle caps that you get for money would weigh like 5 pounds. So when you're picking up money, it's like because everything is storage. Just like little things like that, I heard were just like, may not have been necessarily bottle caps, but like smaller things that should not have weighed as much as they did. Were like weighing people down. They're like, I can't carry anything because this bobby pin is 8 pounds. So
if we ever do an episode on top 10 worst video game features, encumberment is definitely top 2, and it ain't number 2. Encumberment is just dumb. Yeah. Don't do it. It's just an idiotic thing.
I mean, I guess it would work if you did it right.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
You know what I mean? I would love to play a game like that where you don't fit so much in your backpack and things like that. Because I have played RPGs in the past on PC that had features like that.
Mm-hmm.
Like you actually had to plan what you want to do that day.
Mm-hmm.
If they did it right,
it's
fine.
It's cool.
But
yeah.
Again, something like a bottle cap should not weigh 50 pounds. You know what I mean?
And you can't carry anything else.
I should be able to carry. I should be able to have like 1,000 bottle caps. And
exactly.
Weigh like 10 pounds or something like that. Like,
come on, man. My money should not be weighing me down.
Right. Unless you're Jeff Bezos.
All right. Are we done tanking on Bethesda? Because I could do this all day.
What you got?
A smaller Obsidian team made a better Fallout game than Bethesda has made in the past decade. So
there you go. That speaks for itself.
My 8 was WWE 2K20. We don't have to go over that again.
Yep.
My number 7 is a classic, baby, and it's personal to me. It's personal. It's close to my heart, so that's why it's high on the list. My number 7 is Def Jam Icon.
Yeah. When I put it in and I hit the button and the man started scratching, I don't remember what character I played, and then the background shook.
Yeah.
We were not going down this road. You will not ruin my childhood. Vendetta, Fight for New York, classic games. And I like that simplistic gameplay, but still intricate enough to make the moves set enough. And I get they were trying to take the game in a different way, just not that way.
Why? That's a perfect example of why you should just If it works, if it's not broke, don't fix it.
Don't fix it. They could have just took the other ones and made it look better, added a few little features, but keep that people. And I think they know that engine is what ran that game. It was simplistic, like you could pick it up and just kind of, and you could be skilled in it. And y'all, but just to take that and just be like, no, that's bad
what?
game.
Car got 4 wheels. We're gonna give it 8,
and 2 on the side.
2 rear view mirrors.
What?
8 brake lights.
It just the emphasis was too much on realistic graphics and making things look real and move real, because the game was, for its time, a gorgeous looking game.
Yes.
The settings looked good. All the fighters and the rappers, they were very well detailed. But everybody moved like they were wading through 3 feet of shit.
Yeah. Literally. They're just kind of like, everybody's like stoic and stiff. And it just didn't have that fluidity, of course, for one, that the first one did. And the previous ones were 4-player. At least,
yes.
Yeah, 4-player, and this was only 2.
What do people like about fighting games? Oh, slow, methodical movement.
Yeah.
That's what I want.
Times 2.
It kind of reminded me of like how in the 90s everything was like so like they what's the word I'm looking for? Everything was just like so intense and everything had to be flashy. And it was like Fight for New York and Vendetta were just great games, and then they just tried to like
bling it out.
Yeah, basically.
Because that was the bling era.
And they failed miserably. But apparently there's a rumor they're supposed to be doing something related to
they were talking about, I think someone tweeted like, we're looking into it or something to that.
I'm not looking forward to fighting as Little Uzi Vert. So we shall see.
You can be Justin Bieber. I'm good, man.
But yeah, that was my expectations were pretty high, and EA dashed them very quickly. So
quick.
My number 7, Def Jam Icon. My number 6 is a oldie but a goodie, Duke Nukem Forever.
Oh my, that game was what, in development for like 30 years?
30 years.
Literally.
And this is what you came up with?
So I knew it was bad because I didn't play any other Duke Nukem games, and I played that, and I just thought it was mediocre, as in not playing any other ones. So I can imagine you being this fan of it, waiting. It was in development for like 15 years, getting this game and playing it, and you were like,
see, I played Duke Nukem. I played the original side-scrolling Duke Nukem. So it evolved into like the first person.
Okay.
You know, with the raunchiness and stuff like that. Because the first one was just a regular,
okay,
it was
2D side scroller, and then it evolved into the first person shooter and had all the raunchiness and adult stuff, and that was cool. All right. Flash forward a few years, you're expecting, all right, you already have this template. You already know what the fans want. All we gotta do is give it to them, and then you kind of like regress, and you give us bullshit. Like I don't understand. Like I don't know.
So yeah, for again, for those people that aren't privy, Duke Nukem was a very popular first-person shooter in the early 90s.
Yes.
And I believe there are 2 mainline games in that first-person genre. And basically, to not downplay what Duke Nukem was basically Doom with adult jokes in it.
Right.
Yes.
Yeah. It almost, I believe, it looks like it used the Doom engine, and it's just like nude girls and curse words. Yeah. But it was a cool game. And they were teasing Duke Nukem Forever for a very long time.
Forever.
And publishers went out of business, and they got picked up by somebody else. And that publisher went out of business, and they got picked up by somebody else. 20 or 30 years later, Duke Nukem Forever finally came out, and it just was a dumpster fire.
Pretty much.
It played like a 90s first-person shooter. And to paint how bad, in hindsight, first-person shooters were in the 90s, there were no second joysticks. And there was no second thumbstick in the 90s. So imagine that.
But the games were still awesome, though.
Yeah, no. Yeah, for their time.
Yes.
But yeah, Duke Nukem Forever had no reason coming out. And
being that bad,
and not seeing the irony of having the subtitle forever in it. For that, it's my 6.
Just deserved.
My top 5 now.
Okay,
top
I'm
5. Biggest disappointment is they don't look over there. My number 5 is the first 2 years of No Man's Sky.
Yeah, I heard it's a good game now. If you were to pick it up now, it's actually, I remember one point in time I bought it for $10. Now if you go to get it, it's like 30 now.
Yeah, it's back up.
It's back up a little bit. But yeah, the beginning, I just seen how bad it was.
Yeah. I've learned games like that promise, all this exploration and in-depth gameplay.
Mhm.
I've learned now if you're talking about doing it on console, probably not gonna happen.
Right.
Probably not gonna happen, or it's just not gonna happen at launch. That's why I stick to PC games when they say they're gonna do all that stuff.
They probably will be.
They come through on their promise. Console games never seem to come through on their promise.
I think they literally boasted it's like 1 million different worlds or something like that.
Yeah. It was supposed to use a procedural generation to like create all these new worlds and all these new species, and you're supposed to be able to travel the world and see people in the world. So like if another player was on this planet and you went to that planet, you could interact and play along with this piece. It's damn near promised to be an MMO from what it sounded like. So at launch, you would fire this thing up and you would go on this planet, and like say I knew you were playing at the same time and I knew what planet you were on. I would travel to that planet, but we couldn't see each other.
Right.
And that rightfully pissed a lot of people off. You can go through that.
Yeah. I think it was kind of cool when they did make the improvements on it, though. Correct me if I'm wrong. So when the game came out, there was really not much to do. And, but before they sent out the patch or the update to add all those features, I think it was apparently there were no other aliens or another intelligent alien race, and then like you get the secret message, from this ship, and then that's what led to where they are now. I thought that was pretty cool how they kind of set that up. But the initial release of the game,
and
oh no, I'm sorry, it wasn't a Microsoft game. I was gonna
wow,
I was gonna rag on Microsoft, but I forgot it was an indie developer.
I definitely bought it on the PS4. But another bad thing about the launch was the procedural generation part about it, where it was supposed to like randomly create new animals and species. Like that thing created some like grotesque looking stuff.
Yeah, I think of course somebody found a penis alien. As always.
There's always a penis.
Always somehow, some way.
Rule 34.
Yeah.
There's always a penis.
If you don't know what Rule 34 is, Google it.
Now, to be cool, now in the present time, it is a really good game.
Yes.
You can now play multiplayer. You can now see other people. You can even squad up with a team of 4.
And it's on VR, if I'm not mistaken.
And the PSVR, which literally the whole game, as it plays regularly, you can play it in VR. And it plays well. I enjoy it. But you sucked. So that's why you're on my 5. 4 was too human.
Okay.
So we don't need to talk about that. 3 was another real old one. E.T. on the Atari.
Yeah, if you don't know, it literally almost... It did. It killed the Atari.
All right. So, my personal E.T. experience. As a kid, playing E.T. Now, as an adult, I know why I could not get out that damn pit. There's a level on E.T. where you fall into a pit.
Yes.
And you cannot get out.
Yes.
Right. So you have to hold the button and hit up, and the neck will go up, and you float. But at a certain, you just...
Right. And it was so frustrating as a kid. And now to know why, the only reason why you couldn't get out because the game wasn't complete.
Yep.
I am so pissed off at that game. I'm glad that everybody involved had bad things happen. I'm sorry. No, I'm not. Yes, I am. But yeah, it was. You know what? I would put that as my biggest disappointment.
Probably so. I forgot all about
my top
that.
2 are pretty impressive. But
if you can beat E.T., then kudos to you.
Yeah.
E.T., like to literally go decades without and then realizing the only reason why the game didn't work because it was incomplete.
But imagine you being a kid, like you see the movie, you're in the 80s, and you get the game, and you're just befuddled on and at that time, there's nobody you can call. Like at least in the 90s, there were like little hotlines you can call into, and you were just stuck with it. You had to figure it out.
And our dumbasses kept playing it.
Yep.
That's the thing.
Yeah. Like I'm gonna get past this pit. So, to bring people up to speed, E.T. came on the Atari 2600, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
it was a game that was supposed to go along with the Steven Spielberg movie E.T.
Which, not to cut you off, if you want to play it, you can play at MAP Technologies Gaming Lounge.
I don't
we
know
have it in here.
why you would want to.
Yes, if you enjoy suffering and if you like not having fun, we can help you out with that.
But this company, I forgot. I watched the interview recently with the guy who was the lead designer on that game, and he was pressured into taking this job. He didn't want the job when he had it. So problem number one, you have this person that's not passionate about this IP making this game, and he knew from day one that this game was not going to be good.
Right.
But Atari really wanted to cash in on what they knew was going to be this blockbuster, the Steven Spielberg movie. And he did the code. Oh, and he also said like the Atari was very hard to code for because it doesn't have any bitmap.
Okay.
So you can't preview what you're doing until you until it's done. So
you made a whole game blind.
You got to code and then play it, and then like, okay, then you go all the way back.
Exactly. So they created this game, and this game was so bad, and Atari invested so much money into this game that it literally killed the video game industry.
Yes, that is a fact.
No games came out until Nintendo saved the day with the NES. But
and then remember they tried to hide it. They buried them all the way in Mexico.
Buried them in New Mexico. Yeah. There's a rumored hole in the ground that's
they
storing.
went a couple 15 years ago.
Yeah, somebody bought the land
and dug it all up.
And found it.
All
it was there.
That's funny.
Yep. Literally there.
So
they bought it with that intent.
Yeah, they bought
that's
it
funny.
to go excavate.
They were like, well, if we find it, we can keep it.
Yeah.
And our Atari was like, yes, if you find it, you can absolutely keep it. Please.
So I'll explain. E.T. is my number 3.
Okay.
And the reason why it's my number 3 and not my number 1, and the reason why these two other games are higher than it, is E.T. did damage that was repaired. I believe these two games that I rated higher than E.T. did so much damage to their IP that there has not been a good game in those franchises since.
All right.
I think shoot. So let me guess.
Okay. I'm clueless.
Let me guess. Is one of them a Sonic game?
Ooh, you good.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
You good.
Sonic
It's not my 2
anyway.
though. I'm gonna get to it.
Okay.
Good guess. My 2 is Superman 64.
Ooh. Another game that was just broken.
Yes. It was broken from day one. It had no reason to be released. I don't know the story behind it as much as I know the story behind E.T. But as a young kid with a Nintendo 64 that was hungry for a licensed game.
Nintendo 64.
And
that's funny. Huh?
You see this. The Superman game, it didn't even have theoretically it didn't have a name. Like the cartridge doesn't even say the name. It's just a picture of Superman from the Warner Brothers cartoon. And I'm like, oh, I want to play this. I want to beat stuff up to Superman, right?
You're flying through rings.
Exactly. You spend you can't make it to an actual mission until you fly through rings for 3 minutes.
Imagine you are a super being from another planet that could lift mountains and you have to fly through
I never played it, but I'm just from what you described, I'm assuming that was kind of like a tutorial stage where you just get you used to flying.
You would think, but
no.
You would play those levels, you would play a real mission, and then you had to go back to the ring flying before you went to another mission. It was basically used to fill space.
Yeah, it was an integral part of the game. It was a part of the game. It wasn't like, hey, play this to kind of like get the new.
It was supposed to simulate Superman flying through Metropolis to get to the mission. So you're at one part of Metropolis, you have to get to this other part of Metropolis, but the only way to do it was you had to conveniently fly through this path of rings in order to get there. But the controls of Superman while he was flying was so bad. It was so bad, and it was timed. So if you didn't do it by time, Superman mysteriously died, and you had to do it over again.
Wait, the guy that could fly like at the speed of light?
Yes, was not fast enough
to make it to the 3 blocks down.
And just mysteriously died of nothing. No kryptonite. Oh, damn.
No explanation of why this kills him, but
and he wasn't even time displaced. That's even worse.
So that was problem number 1. And problem number 2, the game was just so buggy and glitchy. I remember one time you played these level, and a lot of the levels that weren't the flying through rings and Metropolis levels were indoors. So even though there was this flying mechanic, you're in these small corridors where you can't fly.
Mysteriously.
But yeah, and one time I was in the corridor and I mistakenly activated the flight. and I flew through the geometry. I flew through a wall and could not get back through the level. And I had to restart the game and fly through the ring level again to get back. And I basically never did it.
You know, that's a trick. I don't know if they did this, but that in the movie industry, that's kind of like a trick for low budget movies where they intentionally film in small spaces, like inside of rooms and stuff like that. Like all the scenes are confined and not outdoors because of budget constraints.
Right.
And I'm willing to bet that's why they did that. Like
yeah.
that.
You know what movie? Not to keep going off tangent. Saw was like that.
Yeah.
You didn't have the money. So
Saw 1 is all in one room.
But Saw was good.
Yeah.
Not
unlike Superman 64. So yeah, if you want to trigger a millennial, bring up Superman 64.
And again, if you like punishment, we have that here at the shop.
but again, to my point, Superman 64, I believe, killed any hope of a good Superman video game ever happening.
The only other one was the Return of Superman on Super NES.
Superman Returns.
Superman
Yeah.
Returns. Yeah, I had that. That was good, but I
Yes.
can't think of anything else.
There was a one based on the new Superman Returns.
the
I believe was on the 360 and the PS3,
Oh, really?
Yeah.
and it wasn't good.
I didn't play it at all.
So the way they tried to, it was inventive what they were trying to deal with, because obviously Superman can't be killed by anything but kryptonite. So instead of giving Superman health, it was based on the damage that was done to Metropolis. So if Metropolis was destroyed before the end of the level, that was how you got the fail state.
Okay.
But it wasn't fun to play, and it didn't look good, and it just wasn't good.
Okay.
Anyway, we have not gotten a good game where you play as Superman since.
Yeah. Agreed.
That's why it's my number 2. My number 1, most disappointing, biggest disappointment in video games ever. 50% of our Patreons agree with me.
Okay.
J Infinity called it out. Sonic the Hedgehog 2006.
Sonic, the most overrated video game character ever.
If they just stick to side scrolling, Sonic Mania is very good, and I suggest anybody play it if they haven't played it already. All the old school Sonics I enjoy going back to, minus a few. Sonic 3D sucks. I don't like Sonic CD, unlike a lot of people. But Sonic 06 goes down in infamy. Anybody who played that thing was broken.
I don't think I've ever gotten a chance to partake. Ever since it went 3D, I think it lost its allure to me. So I just never drank from that cup.
So Sonic 06 wasn't the first 3D game. Obviously, Sonic Adventures 1 and 2 came out before it. And this was Microsoft.
Here we go. When that name came,
I keep accidentally proving J Infinity's point.
Hey.
But yeah, Microsoft wanted to make a big splash. The Xbox 360 was on the horizon. They needed a big launch title, and they paid Sega for the exclusive console rights to Sonic. So Sega starts making this game. Sonic the Hedgehog was supposed to be a big reboot for the franchise and a big splash for Microsoft and the Xbox 360. Close to the Xbox 360's launch, Sega reveals to Microsoft that this game will not be ready. And Microsoft tells them, we don't care. You're going to release this thing anyway. We built up hype, and that game is broken. And when I mean broken, I mean like this game is it's horrendous. The controls are bad. The physics are bad. You're sliding all over the place.
What system is this on?
It was on the 360, and it eventually got ported to the PS3 because Sega needed to make some kind of money back. Yeah.
Or make more people suffer.
Yeah. Let's put it on everything. So yeah, first of all, the story, you play as Sonic the Hedgehog in some universe where, and there is some universes where the Sonic the Hedgehog characters exist with humans.
Right.
And this was one of them. This human princess gets kidnapped by Dr. Robotnik, and you have to play as Sonic the Hedgehog and eventually rescue her. There's this one gross scene where Sonic dies, and the princess feels obligated to kiss Sonic to wake him up.
bestiality going on
and
here.
it was,
Right.
it did not, it was gross. Anyway, the game's not fun. It's super broken. You really have to, by luck and chance, make it to the end of that game, and you don't get the true ending unless you beat the game 3 times.
So so the game is crap.
Yeah.
And you got to play through the crap 3 times.
Yes.
To get the true ending.
Indeed.
Which is probably equally as crappy as the game, I'm sure.
That sounds like the history of Xboxes.
Ooh, boy.
We're gonna get it from the Xbox guys, aren't we?
I see a theme going.
I just
on.
want y'all all out there to know that Sega made this game.
For the Xbox.
The only mistake Microsoft made was putting faith in Sega. But yeah, you had to beat the game. You beat the game as Sonic, and you had to beat the game again as Shadow the Hedgehog and a new hedgehog they created, Silver, who is basically Sonic but with telepathy.
Okay. Is that where Shadow came from? Or Shadow was in
No, Shadow was created for Adventures.
Okay.
He was originally the villain in Sonic Adventure.
This was the Black Hedgehog.
Yes, the Black Hedgehog with the gun. That's problematic in itself, but okay.
Oh, we're going to get some rings. All right. Good job, Sega. GG, Sega.
But yeah, that game, I believe, and for all my griping and how 3D Sonic is not fun, Sonic 06
is the one that killed it.
Yes, and Sega never bounced back until I recently played Sonic Forces. And to be fair, it objectively is not good, but it is better.
It's serviceable.
It is that's a good word for it. You can make it. I beat the game. So obviously I enjoyed myself if I played it from beginning to end.
Right.
But that game still has a lot of problems.
Yeah.
But it looks like they're finally figuring it out. But Sonic 06 was, if you have anyway, it's so bad. Xbox One made it so where a lot of the 360 games can be playable on the Xbox One.
Not that one.
Not Sonic 06.
I think it's one of those little Men in Black thing comes out. It's never existed. What am I doing with this?
Microsoft must do that a lot then.
So almost every other Sonic game that was on the 360 can be playable on the Xbox One, except Sonic the Hedgehog 2006. If you have a 360 and
I'm sorry,
you can find a way to play it, I would suggest playing it just so you can see that I am not over exaggerating. This
I'm actually
game,
going to play it because I have not, but I will.
If you find a copy, please let me know. I want to play it with you.
Probably have one.
I want to be there. I want just woo. And I'm a big Sonic fan. I love Sonic. If you haven't noticed, loved Sonic since the OG Sega Genesis days. I'm a very big Sonic apologist. Up until that, and I think, what's the one where Sonic turns into a werewolf?
What?
You never heard of that one? It's a Sonic the Hedgehog game. It was
okay.
It was on it was on a 360, PS3, and GameCube, where he turns into a werewolf. I can't remember what it's called. I think it's like Sonic Underground or something like that. But that was the one where I was like, all right, I can't take up for this thing anymore. You looking it up?
Yes.
Sonic Werehog.
Wow.
And find out what comes up. But the funny thing is, when you were regular Sonic, it played like a regular 3D Sonic game. When you turned into the Werehog, it was a God of War clone.
Really?
It was not good. Nothing's coming up? I can't believe it.
It's Were without age.
Yeah, W.
I know that.
Where the wolves at? There it is.
Sonic Unleashed.
Sonic Unleashed.
Yeah, 2008.
So bad.
It's a platformer.
Not
Single
good.
player.
Not fun.
He changed into a... Yes. Look at that.
Change it to the Werehog, baby.
He does change into a... What?
And his arms, inexplicably...
Look how big they are. They look like wings.
The arms stretch and they worked like, Kratos' chains. It was legit a God of War clone. The combat.
Are you serious?
I'm dead serious.
You are making this up.
No.
You were telling me...
So that's 2 Sonic games we got to play. We got to find a way. And
so you're telling me they take Sonic, turn him into a werewolf.
Yes.
And then he uses his hands.
So it's only at night. So during the day, daytime levels play like traditional 3D Sonic levels. Nighttime levels play like God of War.
Wow.
Not fun.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't sound fun at all.
But anyway,
Sega fans, Microsoft fans, y'all. I'm sorry. I feel sorry for you guys.
I feel sorry for your mother.
Y'all played y'all have played the crappiest games in the history of video games. I'm sorry.
So that's my list, baby. I'll eventually post it on our social medias, and we'll see if y'all agree with it, or if y'all find anything more disappointing than Sonic 06. Yeah, good luck with that.
Yeah. Yeah, if you find some other horrible games or some honorable mentions, please, hit us up on Facebook, Instagram, Twitter, all our social medias at MAP Game Tech or Charm Cities and J Infinites at what are y'all social medias?
No, don't come find me.
Don't come find me. Yeah,
don't come. Especially all you Microsoft guys.
I'll post it.
No, I'm Charm City Champ on Twitter and Instagram.
And I'm at Infinite Nights, and Nights is spelled NITES.
Mm-hmm.
You can find me on Instagram, Twitter, Facebook under at Infinite Nights.
Yep. And I'm assuming we're about to end this.
That's the show, yeah.
Yep. So if you're in the Baltimore area, make sure you stop in at 229 Park Avenue, MAP Technologies. We fix, sell, repair, trade in all electronics. Don't forget to join our Patreon and get exclusive. Can't see the G word, right?
Get exclusive perks.
There you go.
Perks. That's the G word we can't say.
Perks. You get exclusive perks. You get invites to exclusive live streams like the live stream of this podcast right now.
Yes.
Exclusive streams.
Yep.
You get prizes. You get contests. You get to play with us in some games.
Play with me.
You get to answer exclusive polls. You get to interact with us and even give us topics for a podcast.
Yep. We have what event we have coming up next? I think video game trivia is the next event.
That is what, September 5th?
Yes.
Yep. And then Yu-Gi-Oh. Oh, and well, that's not gonna. Well, when's the podcast going up?
Friday.
Okay. So
Every Friday.
What I was about to say.
Yu-Gi-Oh will have already happened.
You will be happy
Travel
while you're
back
watching.
in time and go to the Yu-Gi-Oh.
Yeah, but September 5th is video game trivia.
Yep. Make sure you tune in for that. We'll be giving out some more things and goodies.
And Comic Book Day is coming up.
Comic Book Day is
September 26th. That's the big day.
Big day. Big Comic Book Day. Nice Red Comic Books for sale. Bunch of free comics, vendors, music, video games. We're doing a Marvel vs. Capcom 2, 3, and an Injustice tournament. Win some money, some other good stuff. If you're good at video games, you're good at fighting games. So come on out and hang with us in person.
And also, please subscribe to our YouTube channel.
Yes.
We're putting up a lot of good content, a lot of archive streams. By the time this comes up, I'm going to stream the newly ported Vader Immortal on the PSVR.
Nice.
Yeah. So this is gonna be my first time playing. I didn't play on the Oculus, and I'm looking forward to it. It comes out Tuesday on the PSVR. That's all I got.
All right, that's all I have as well. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you guys next week for another exciting adventure in MAPdom. Yeah.
P-dom.
Y'all be good.
Peace.